Okay, Alhamdulillah, again, with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He, enabled us to sit tonight. You see, we made the intention to leave our house and pray Salatul Isha, and also made the intention to be here, and Allah made it possible. Alhamdulillah. So that's so we, as human beings, we only can make intention. The action that we will do accordingly with that intention is by the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because sometimes we want to, but it doesn't happen. Yes. So Alhamdulillah, we express, and even me, I come here. It's a lot of benefit for myself. A lot of benefit. One thing is that we keep up to date with Sirah. Since I started this, this Sirah night at Surau Kida, I have discovered even books, books which is very good. For example, in English, written in English. So one of the books, I discovered is written by Yasir Qadi, for example. He's a scholar, but in our time. So what he wrote is really good, compared to someone who wrote something previously, and also his broader knowledge about the Sirah. So it's good. It's available on the internet. You can just download for free.
What's it called? What book is it?
The Sirah of the Prophet, a contemporary and original analysis. It's on archive. If you go archive, you can download the PDF. It's very good, mashallah. Something beneficial.
There's also the YouTube as well.
Oh, YouTube videos, of course, yes. May Allah, reward him immensely, because this is something. So this is available. You don't need to purchase. Okay, so tonight, inshallah, last week we read about the Islam of three prominent leaders of Quraysh. Three prominent, personnel or leaders of Quraysh.
Sure.
Do we remember? Yes?
Is there any chance we can do, before we go ahead, a quick recap, just a 1 minute one of what I missed out?
Yeah, so it's three, after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, three people embraced Islam from the Quraysh. One is, we know, Khalid ibn al-Walid. Yes? Khalid ibn Walid, the sword of Allah, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Another one is Amr bin As. And then another one is the other one? Uthman ibn Talha. Uthman ibn Talha. So these two, they went to the Prophet together to embrace Islam. Amr ibn al-As, he returned back from Abyssinia. Amr ibn al-As, he came back from Abyssinia. And his intention was to convince the king over there to actually return the Muslims back to Mecca, but the king refused, because he accepted Islam. So he treated the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet, he treated them well. And he told Amr, I don't accept your request. I can't, accept your request. So he then also returned back to Mecca, but he wanted to embrace Islam. So when he was going to the Prophet, he met with Uthman ibn Talha, and then also they met with Khalid ibn Walid. They all expressed that we have the same intention. We want to declare our Islam in front of the Prophet. So they met the Prophet. So this was a huge blow to the Quraysh. They thought, no, this is it's done already. Islam will take over. Islam will win now. Three of our important leaders that have embraced Islam. So the Quraysh said, no, there's no future for us here. The governing body will be of the Muslims. That's basically it.
And what made him turn?
Huh?
What made him turn?
Because Amr ibn al-As, because the king Negus, he accepted Islam.
But what's the good to do with those individuals? Is it
Khalid bin Walid, because when the Prophet ﷺ asked his brother about him, So Khalid bin Walid's brother, I forgot his name. The Prophet, when he came to Mecca to perform the Umrah, Umrah, which he did not perform the previous year. He came the next year to perform Umrah. He asked first when he entered Mecca, he asked the brother of Khalid ibn Walid. He was a Muslim at that time, the brother.
Oh, the brother was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the brother spoke to Khalid ibn Walid, the Prophet ask me about you. When he entered the city of Mecca, he mentioned you, where's your brother Khalid ibn Walid? So I think it softened his heart, Khalid ibn Walid. That's how it is. And then he decided to embrace Islam. So now after this, we have the Battle of Mu'tah. The Battle of Mu'tah. Anyone know any information, whether small or big, regarding this battle, Mu'tah?
This is after the
Yes.
Umrah?
Yes, after the Umratul Qada, meaning the Umrah which the Prophet performed after the year that he came to perform Umrah, but they couldn't. The Quraysh stopped them. You have to return this year, but come next year. So after that he performed. This is the Battle of Mu'tah. Yes.
So they went
After the Umratul Qada.
They went to Umrah and they went back home?
No, they went back home. Yes.
They went back.
Yeah, they went back to Medina. But then the Prophet ﷺ prepared the Muslims, the companions, for this battle. Yes. Any information,
The
small
battle
or
of-
big, inshallah,
the
share
battle of
before
Mu'tah.
we do it. So Mu'tah is a place, is a city in Jordan. In nowadays, this city is in Jordan. It's called now Al-Mazar. Al-Mazar. It's called Al-Mazar, a city in Jordan. Known in our times, the modern, Jordan, that country is called Mazar. Mazar meaning in Arabic it means a graveyard. Mazar means graveyard of someone's important. Is it in Turkey?
Turkish,
Mazar?
just general.
Mezar.
Just
Mezar.
Mazar, yeah.
Just means a grave.
In Karachi there's the Mazar Qa'id Ali Janah, Qa'id Azam Ali Janah Mazar, yeah? So why they call that place Mazar? Because at that place, in the Battle of Mu'tah, the Prophet ﷺ elected 3 leaders for this battlefield, 3 leaders. He said that if the first one becomes a martyr, the second one should take over. And then if the second one becomes a martyr, the third one. All the 3 became martyrs. So that's why, and they were buried in that place. That's why it's called a Mazar. And I think if we have that, the mashallah tawfiq to go to Jordan, so many things you can explore there. Yeah. So Mu'tah is the name of a village. Okay, and this village was actually over there. It was under the government of the Romans. And Romans, who was the king? The king is called Heraclius, the Romans. So this was under their, government. So they were governing these areas in Syria. So the Prophet ﷺ, he prepared 3,000 of his companions. He asked them to volunteer. Who's ready to volunteer and take part in this battle? So 3,000 volunteer. Yeah, 3,000 companions, and then so this Ghazwa is called Ghazwa, the battle of Mu'tah. Ghazwa. The Prophet ﷺ, he did not take part in this battle. He did not go with his companions. He only sent 3,000 companions, but he remained in Medina. So basically, this is a Sariya. Anyone knows the difference between Sariya and Ghazwa? Sariya is when the Prophet ﷺ sent, companions, but he did not go with them. That's Sariya. So this is basically Sariyah, but in history books we find that some scholars call it Ghazwa. They call it Ghazwa. Ghazwa is when the Prophet takes part in it. Like for example, Ghazwa Badr, Ghazwa Uhud. We call it Ghazwa. But Sariyah is when the Prophet ﷺ, he remained in Medina, he sent his companions. So this one is supposed to be called Sariyah, not Ghazwa. But in books of Sirah, it's called Ghazwa. Ghazwa Mu'ta, for example. Because why? Because I think the reason is because a large number of companions were sent in this battle. So it's like not a small expedition, it's like a big one. But again, some later scholars say, no, we keep it, this is one of the Sariyah. So again, it's not a big deal. We call it Ghazwa or Sariyah because the Prophet ﷺ did not take part in it. So to keep consistency throughout the Sirah, we keep this as a Sariyah, doesn't it? And also, this battle is so significant. It's a big one because they're facing the Romans. For the first time during the life of the Prophet ﷺ, the Muslims are facing the Romans in a battle. They fought with the Arabs, of course, but this is the Romans, so it's different. So that's why some scholars call this Ghazwa. Ghazwa means battle, big one. So the Prophet ﷺ, according to the narration in Bukhari, he appointed three Sahaba. The first one is Zayd ibn Haritha. Zayd ibn Haritha is mentioned in the Quran, his name, فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِّنْهَا وَطَرًا. He was the adopted son of the Prophet ﷺ, Zayd ibn Haritha. So he appointed Zayd ibn Haritha as the leader. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, if Zayd is killed, then Ja'far radiallahu anhu, and if Ja'far is killed, then Abdullah bin Rawah. So Zayd ibn Haritha, Ja'far, and then Abdullah bin Rawah. And I think the Prophet ﷺ knew already that these three will.
That was the flag on the flag.
Yeah, flag. That's the story, yes. And they, showed very bravery, like act of Bayla, the Sahaba. One hand chopped off already, he holds it with the right one chopped, and he holds it with his chin, this. And then until he couldn't hold it anymore, and then the next Sahaba come and take it. So bravery is very important. Yeah. Okay, now the question is why the Prophet ﷺ, he initiated this battle. He prepared the Muslims to fight the Romans. The reason why, the reason behind this battle, basically. So the scholars say that we do find reasons in the books of Sirah. One the most, I think, not reliable, makes sense. It makes sense is what Al-Waqidi he wrote in his book that the Prophet ﷺ prepared the Muslims to take revenge for the killing of Al-Harith ibn Umayr al-Azadi. Remember when the Prophet ﷺ sent letters to the king of Rome, Hiraql? So he sent this Sahabi, Harith ibn Umayr, his name. We read this previously. Harith ibn Umayr al-Azadi. So this Sahabi, companion, took the letter of the Prophet ﷺ, but then he went because he can't just go directly to the Roman Empire. He went first to an Arabian tribe, Christian Arabian tribe. They have allies with the Romans. So he went to the Banu Ghassan, it's called Banu Ghassan, the people of Ghassan. They are Christian Arabs. But they are allies, very close ally with the Roman, with the king Hiraql. So this Sahabi, Umayr al-Azadi, Harith ibn Umayr al-Azadi, he went to Banu Ghassan, and he said, look, I'm the messenger of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of Muhammad, and I have the proof. This is a letter from Muhammad, okay? And my intention is to present this letter to the king of Hiraql, the king of Rome. Romans. But then what happened was, the chief, the leader of Banu Ghassan, Shurahbil ibn Amr, what he did was he tied the messenger of the Prophet, he tied him, tortured him, and then killed him. He did it. He did not tell his, for example, people to do that, but he himself did it.
You
So
never
he,
meant to kill the messenger.
yeah.
It's a big
So as we all know, that messenger
it's very important.
is protected. You
Yeah.
can't kill. You can only say leave quickly. Leave from
No,
here.
it's a declaration of war, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a universal, what is it called, moral or law that you don't kill messengers. Otherwise, how you operate. But this person, he himself did it. He didn't command other one, like one of his lower, but he himself did it. So it's a big mockery, like it's a big thing. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said that this can't be, tolerated. Something has to be done. So that's why he prepared 3,000 to fight Banu Ghassan. That's the first intention, to fight Banu Ghassan, this Arabian Christian tribe.
The best way to relate it to today is like even when there's countries go to war, the UN will have laws like you can't bomb hospitals,
Yeah.
you can't bomb first aid workers.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
You can't, like back then you can't kill messengers. You can't, so basically.
yeah, it's one of it. And even like civilians, you can't
You
kill.
can't
Non-combatants,
kill.
you can't kill.
The UN like law,
Yeah,
That's the
so
same
that's
thing.
Islamic law too.
Yeah.
Yeah, now people know UN, but again, those who are powerful, they choose to disobey that, they do
That's
it.
the law. That's
Yeah,
the
they have the weapon, they say no. No, you see? UN doesn't, they don't have weapon. They don't have a force to have weapon. Or have all the, fighter jets. They can't do anything, they just put their head down, okay, just wait for the right moment. See, unfortunately it's like that is. That's why this one, 3,000, so this one was in Jumad al-Ula, the 8th of Hijrah, this battle. So the intention was to head to Banu Ghassan and fight with them. That's the intention, because they did this, But of course, they were allies with the Romans. The Romans sent, a big army to help the Banu Ghassan, very big. Some even say it was like 100,000 something altogether, but I think the best number is 10,000, because normally people always quote, exaggerate in quoting numbers when they see a lot of army. They thought, oh, that's 1,000.
Even 10,000.
1,000, 100,000, but it's 10,000, yes. So again, even if we say 10,000, it's a very big number compared to the Muslims, 3,000, that's triple. So what happened here, that the Muslim left on Friday, in the morning, Friday, Jum'ah day, there will be khutbah of the Prophet too, you see, but they left in the morning. And one of the appointed leaders, the first one was Zayd bin Haritha, but the second one is Ja'far, the third one, Abdullah ibn Rawaha. Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he did not, traveled with the rest. He remained in Medina. He thought that he wants to, pray Jum'ah with the Prophet, so he can get the reward of Jum'ah Salah with the Prophet ﷺ in Masjid Nabawi. So he thought, I don't want to miss that reward. So he said, I will delay my travel.
Makes sense.
Alright? But then the Prophet ﷺ saw him. Hey, what are you doing? You still haven't gone with the... He said, no, I want to get the reward. I don't want to miss the reward. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he highlighted the status of jihad. He said, if you were to, to spend, something equivalent to all the wealth in this world, equivalent to that much, you will not be able to make up the reward that those who left got. Those who left, they got a reward, and you can't make up for that reward. There's no way for you to make up for that reward. So leaving early for jihad is the biggest reward. Nothing can beat that. So even praying Jummah with me, or other things, or you giving charity, your entire life with everything in this world. Yeah. So that's, of course it is. Of course that makes sense. Someone who goes out and they're risking their life, volunteering to, there's no payment. Huh? What they get after maybe, you know, the malul ghanima, the booty of war they get, but before that there's no payment. Okay, so this is just, you know, the Sahaba knew that this must be done, you know, to spread Islam. That's like the other people also. They do this the same. They don't just keep it into their country, you know. They go abroad, they send them, they have base there, base over here. Yes, that's the true example. I think they follow, you know, the way of the Prophet when it comes to, you know, not everything, you know. We don't kill non-combatants, but they do. They kill big numbers. If you look at casualties of war, their war is huge, big numbers. But what I'm saying is the you know, the tactics, you know, the putting base here to control, because so the Prophet also did this, because otherwise something can be a threat to your whatever, you know, ideology you wanna. Yes, yeah, it can be a threat anytime. That's why they always make sure it's not going to happen like that. So this one too. So a big virtue of jihad, yeah. You know, that's why I hear some brothers say, you know, one brother, I think I was in Khuruj in India, I was with, I think that they're Palestinians, but they have Israel passports, so they don't call them Israel, they say we are Palestinians, okay, that's good. Arabs. So I was with them because I had to translate. You know, I went to Pakistan for 4 months, you know, Khuruj. You know Khuruj, yeah? The tabligh is there. So they okay, you know 4 languages good, you know, Hindi, Bahasa Indonesia, English and Arabic, okay. Now my job was to translate. I didn't like, it was so hard because, you know, the talk is like 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours. Ooh. And I had to go to this Australian group, Indonesian group. Indonesian is a big group, yeah? I had to translate, 2 hours sitting. I was tortured, and they kept me in the, what is it called? They call it markas. They kept me there. I want to leave, you know, because if you leave, then it's easy. You don't have to translate for long. You know, the talks in Ijtima is very long. It's not short talks. So I left, alhamdulillah, with the Palestinian Arabs. Oh, so, you know, with the Arabs, you get a lot of food, mashallah, food. And so one of the brother, he said, you know, that what we do, what we go and take our sleeping bags and go to mosque, you know, and spend time in mosque and leave our family. This is better than the jihad, you know. He's referring to the Sahaba's thing. And I said, no, that's not. I told him immediately, don't make up things. And he got shocked. Yeah, it's not better. What do you mean it's better? You're carrying sleeping bag. You're going to like India. You're going to countries which are very 100% safe, you know.
It's just illogical.
Yeah, illogical. What do you mean it's more better? What do you think? There are people like that. You know, that's like you know, fabricating things in Islam. It's not correct.
It's the wrong understanding.
Yeah, even soldiers, armies are regarded. People respect the armies of the country because why? They're there to protect the country, isn't it?
It's the ultimate
A
sacrifice.
salute, man. Yeah, they remember them after their death. If they died in the battlefield, they remember. They write their names down. They make it. You know, what is it? What's it called in English? Like a shrine or something. Yes. So how do you say like carrying a sleeping bag is even better? It doesn't make sense.
Sheikh, I have a question on this
Well,
topic.
it's good. It's good. You go to mosque. You know, when we sit in the mosque, you know, our heart changes. You know.
Yeah.
When we go to any mosque, you know, and spend time in the mosque, have this environment. It renews, it refreshes your iman. That's how it is. That's an effort we should do because we live in this time, you know. And the what is it called, the force or the gravity of dunya is very strong. Gravity, as we call it, very strong. And the only way to save someone is by involving in masjid, with good people that will remain. Otherwise, the waves is so strong it will take you away, far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is, and I experienced the same. Everyone's experienced the same. So inshallah, this one here. So Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he when he met his family, he was about to depart. he was crying, he was crying. So someone asked him, why are you crying? So he said that, I'm not crying because I love, my family, or I love this world. I'm crying because I'm inclined towards, the world, and I'm crying for that reason. No, I'm crying because one verse in Quran, he said. One verse in Quran in Surah Maryam, وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there is none of you who will not pass over Jahannam. So we know this. What is this meaning?
Is it
The sirat, yes. So the sirat, so every one of us will pass through Jahannam. كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. This is a decree your Lord must fulfill. So it will happen. So whether you're Muslim or not, you will pass through Jahannam. Over that, tiny, very, very thin bridge. Even they say it's thin than the hair. So it's only with good deeds someone can cross, not with tough legs or strong feet. No, yeah, it's with good deeds, with our salah, with our ibadah. So he said, I was thinking about that ayah. Wow, the Sahaba. At that moment, they're still thinking this, how to be saved from Jahannam. So he said, how will I fare in that crossing? Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he was a poet and a fighter, an elite of the Ansar, and also he was beloved to the Prophet ﷺ. So this was his last moment with his family, last moment, because he was martyred in the battlefield. So what happened was the Muslim army traveled for a month, and then when they reached the place, the Mu'ta, where the place of Banu Ghassan. So when they knew about the Muslim army approaching, they panicked. They sent messengers. They sent to the Romans, also to the Christian tribes surrounding Christian tribes, to seek help. So the Christian tribes are like Lukham and Judam and Al-Qim. So these are tribes, Christian tribes, allies basically, to send help. Okay, to deal with the situation. So they what happened was, they gathered, some sources say 100,000, but that's too much, I think, because if you look at, the Christian Arab tribes, their numbers is less than 100,000, not 100. It hasn't even reached 100,000, so it's less. So the more likely is 10,000, around there. Let's say 20,000, 10,000. So this, they gathered, 10,000 men, 10,000 force to deal with this situation. So now the Sahaba, when they knew about this, they said, oh. Yeah, they camped in Mu'ta for 2 days, but then after that, when they knew about this, the enemy, they have gathered, big number of soldiers, they said, should we proceed? Should we remain here, or we go back to Medina? We return back to Medina. They were, having this discussion, mashwara, meeting. But then, we should send someone to inform the Prophet of this situation. But it's not practical, because to send someone, they need 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks to come back. So it's very, there's no time, you see. So what should we do? A very tight situation here. And also we thought we will only be fighting Banu Ghassan. That's doable, fighting Banu Ghassan. But Banu Ghassan, then they called everyone. They called all the allies, and even the Rome sent even more, fighters. So Zayd ibn Haritha, he was the leader, the first one appointed by the Prophet ﷺ. He asked Abdullah bin Rawaha, because Abdullah bin Rawaha was a good speaker. He was a poet, so he can speak. He can convince the companions on what to do. So that's why Zayd asked Abdullah bin Rawaha to say something. And Zayd already knew what Abdullah bin Rawaha will say. Abdullah bin Rawaha, he said, "Oh people, he said, like, oh my people, the thing that which you fear, the shahada, the martyrdom, you fear that is exactly what you desire. So we fear death, becoming a martyr, you have to die. So we feed it, but it's martyrdom, but also that's the same thing we desire. We want as well, yeah? What is the matter with us? Allah will bless us with one of two beautiful things. So, you know, by the end of this battle or fight, Allah will bless us with one of two beautiful things. One is victory over our enemy or martyrdom. So both are beautiful. And then he also said that, you know, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not help us through our quantity or weapons. Because the Romans, the Banu Ghassan, they have better weapons, and not just that, they have better training as well, you know, army training, and big numbers as well. But we know that we don't win because of our quantity or weapons. But this doesn't mean, you know, quantity is not important, huh? Weapons is not important. So we don't, you know, it's not like that. It's not like that. You know, the Sahaba, they tried their best to have weapons. Yes, they prepared. It's not like they just passively, you know, remain calm, no weapons, you know. Not like that. Because otherwise, yeah, that's why we are in this situation, because we left, you know, the investment in weapons and things like this, weapon technology. Maybe. I don't know why we left.
Nuclear weapons.
Huh?
Nuclear weapons.
Not just nuclear, other weapons, defensive or offensive, both. We don't even have defensive weapons, huh? Like
It's not
defensive
the same.
from missiles and all this, we don't have.
Mm.
But the other side have.
Yeah.
Because we forgot to invest in.
We were investing.
Inshallah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We still have, inshallah, our Muslim brothers doing the work. But that's very important, you see, very important. That's why Australia is also investing in nuclear submarine. They're not sleeping. Yes, they're not sleeping, you see, which is good. So here, so now, but rather through the Islam with which Allah has blessed us. Now that's why, you know, I don't like when people say weapons has no power, except when Allah wills. That's a wrong statement to me. It's wrong. In a way, it's wrong. We say weapons have power, but unless Allah wills otherwise. That's the correct statement. Not weapons don't have power. What they're trying to say, you see? Huh? They have power. Allah made it like that. Even the steel Allah mentioned in the Quran. وَأَنزَلْنَا الْحَدِيدَ فِيهِ بَأْسٌ شَدِيدٌ. It has, you know, power in steel. Many things. Yes, weapons are from steel, isn't it? Not from plastics. Huh? So yeah, it has ba'sun shadid and has benefit. And we say no, nothing. We say the fire doesn't burn unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, the fire burns unless Allah wills otherwise. And that's why it's very important. It's not like we don't trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, He helped the prophets, of course. There's nusrah. Inshallah, Allah will show us His help to our Muslim brothers who are suffering around the world. Allah will, you know, bring His help quickly. Yeah, inshallah, yeah. But we have to do something. We can't just sit. Yes. Alright, so here. So now what happened was the Muslim army, they ready. Yes, we will remain here and face the Romans or face the Banu Ghassan. We're not going back.
In Jordan.
In Jordan, yeah, in Mu'tah, in Jordan, this one. Close to Syria, yes. They were persuaded, and they, because of his, you know, eloquence, and his the way he spoke to them. So Abu Hurairah, he was a bit, you know, he was a bit concerned when he saw the enemy, when he saw the army, so much of them. So Abu Hurairah, he was, you know, the narrator of hadith. We have most of our hadith from Abu Hurairah. So he said, so someone asked him, said, what's the matter, O Abu Hurairah? You know, are you surprised how large the army is? But then Abu Hurairah, he said, yeah, I am surprised. So much, so many of them. Okay, and then he you know, that person said to Abu Hurairah that you were not with us in Badr, in the Battle of Badr. So the Battle of Badr also, the Muslims were, you know, were little in number, yes? Also maybe triple, the polytheists, the Quraysh, they were triple in number. So this companion said to Abu Hurairah, don't worry, you know, I know you that you were not with us in Badr, that's why you haven't seen the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, in Badr we did not win due to the size of our army, but we win due to the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at this time, you know, the Sahaba, they trusted in the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then after that, Zayd bin Haritha, he went forward, and then he fought with the enemy until he was surrounded and the enemy killed him. Zayd bin Haritha, the first leader, he was holding the flag because the Prophet ﷺ gave him the flag when the army, they what is it called? They embarked, from Medina. And then after that, you know, the Aisha radiallahu anha, she said about something about Zayd ibn Haritha. She said that never did the Prophet ﷺ send Zayd on an expedition except that he was the leader. So if Zayd was, you know, sent by the Prophet always made him the leader, Zayd ibn Haritha. So even she said that if Zayd, he was alive when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, the Prophet will elect Zayd as his Khalifa. She went on going saying this Aisha radiallahu anha. Yeah. But I think Zayd ibn Haritha passed away, he became a martyr before the Prophet ﷺ passed away. Allahu Akbar.
Remind me, Sheikh, who is he again? Zayd?
Ibn Haritha is the adopted son of the Prophet ﷺ.
Who's the what?
Adopted son.
Ah, yes.
And he's mentioned in the Quran, فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِنْهَا وَطَرًا. You know, his name is mentioned in the Quran, Zayd.
So if he wasn't martyred, he'd be selected as the Khalifa?
That's what Aisha radiallahu anha said. Because every time when the Prophet sent him for an expedition, he made him the leader always.
Always, huh?
Always, yeah.
What was the ayah about on Zayd, the one that you...
Oh, that one was about marrying the wife of your adopted son. Because Zainab, the Prophet married her.
After Zayd, is that right?
Yeah, after Zayd, yes.
Okay.
Is it forbidden?
No, it's you can
Is it
do
allowed?
it.
You can, no, it's allowed in Islam. But when the Prophet married her, there was some fitna issue. You know, people said, what's this? And the Prophet, you know, some enemies, scholars, not enemies of Islam, they said, the Prophet, you know, he caused this thing because he fell in love. You know, the Christian scholars trying to, you know, portray the Prophet, you know, in a bad way.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Tafseer. It's a good topic. Yeah. So here, this is Zayd ibn Haritha. So he was martyred, and then
How was he martyred?
killed. They killed him, surrounded by the enemy. This big number, 10,000, 3,000.
So he led the charge.
Yeah.
He of course he was the leader. He charged first, and then he was surrounded, and they killed him. So the flag dropped to the ground, and then Ja'far came, the second one. The Prophet said, if Zayd is killed, then Ja'far should take, you know, the leadership. So he came and took the flag, and then after that he fought. He fought until his you know, even the legs of his horse were cut off. That's very fierce, huh? And then he fought standing on his feet. And then he fought, and then even, you know, they chopped his entire right arm, and then he grabbed the flag with his left hand, and then they chopped that as well. They sliced his left arm, then grabbed the flag with his, you know, the two stumps, and then after that they
What's the
killed him.
hikmah with the flag, bearing the flag? What's the hikmah behind it?
Yeah, to keep
The
like
flag
the
can't
morale up
Okay.
of the yeah. That's how it is. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So when they see the flag is there and the leader is still fighting,
Okay.
if the leader runs away,
So
they
it's
can
the
all run
morale of
away.
the soldiers behind.
You go for the
Yes,
flag.
yes.
Motivation.
You go take the flag out.
Okay.
You play
So
you
the
play
enemy has a
paintball,
flag
you
as
know
well?
paintball.
Yeah, that's the same.
You have
So
to ring down the flag
Exactly
of your
the same,
opponent.
yeah.
Huh?
Does the enemy have a flag as well?
Of course,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
They,
Yeah.
they're holding it as well?
Yeah, I think that's how war works. Yeah,
Yeah.
flag. So the leader, so this is a real leadership, you know. He's not scared. He's the one in the front, and get cut, and then they stabbed him. Finished him entirely. So he also become a martyr, Ja'far. And then Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he narrated that after the battle, we began searching for Ja'far's body, after the battle, and found it under a huge pile of enemy corpses. So he was, it was among enemy. Also, the enemy, big number from them died as well. Yes. So Ja'far was underneath the corpse of the enemies, and then we counted his wound was like 90 wounds across his entire 90 wounds. That's a lot.
Oh no.
Wow,
But that's from swords.
Huh?
That's from swords.
Swords, yeah, arrows, swords. That I think he is still strong, huh? That's some what do you call bravery. I think we was one.
One
Pass out.
What's it?
I think you need to be fit. I think you need to have
Have like
muscle,
Exercise,
and plus fit the body, and also the iman is strong. That's why it can last how many wounds still fighting. Okay.
You can't imagine it now. Even we got a cut in the little finger, we cry a lot.
Forget
He
it.
got cut one hand and he's still fighting with the other one.
Oosh. That's why we can't be at their level, you know, the Sahaba.
There's no
We
way.
can't be at their level, because the sacrifice they put is like a big sacrifice. So here, we counted over 90 wounds across the entire. The Prophet ﷺ said, "I saw Ja'far in paradise. Allah had given him 2 wings to fly, 2 wings in paradise, replaced his 2 arms, because his 2 arms were chopped off during this battle. So whenever Ibn Umar would pass by Ja'far's son, you know, he's got to say he left the son, he would say, Ibn Umar would say to Ja'far's son, "Peace be upon you, O son of the one with 2 wings." 2 wings. Yes. Alright. We finished 9 o'clock or finished?
So
Up to
you
you,
know,
Ustad.
9 o'clock? We can finish, it's a bit late, inshallah. So now Ibn Rawaha took over, of course, he's the last leader. Ibn Rawaha took charge and he plunged in, but then he, first before plunging into the enemy, he hesitated. Abdullah ibn Rawaha was hesitant a little bit. But then he rebuked his soul. He said, he talked to himself, "Oh my soul, I see you hold paradise in disdain. Yeah? I swear by Allah, there you will remain, residing willingly or compelled to its shade." He then leaped into battle and met his desire, so he became a martyr as well. Of course, human nature, sometimes you hesitate, to go, but then he spoke to his soul.
Someone must have heard him say these words, yeah, if it's in the story. Or else.
Huh?
Someone must
Yeah,
have
yeah,
heard
of
him
course, yes,
say these
of
words
course, yes,
himself.
yeah, it's in narration. And then so Ibn Rawaha, he yearned for martyrdom for so long, but this is, this is human nature. So and Abdullah ibn Rawaha displayed this, very beautiful, beautiful. He was hesitant, but then he proceeded. Yeah, strengthened himself. So he challenged his shortcomings. That's a shortcoming, but he challenged them. So here, even after that, he became a martyr. Then Thabit ibn Arqam, another Sahabi. He was not appointed by the Prophet ﷺ, but he went. He took the flag and held the flag. Yes. But then what he did was he ran away. He took the flag and left the battlefield. Like he ran. Yes. So, and we know in the Quran also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that running away from the enemy is not allowed. It's haram. وَمَنْ يُوَلِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ دُبُرَهُ إِلَّا مُتَحَرِّفًا لِقِتَالٍ أَوْ فَقَدْ بَاءَ بِغَضَبٍ. He will, bring the anger of Allah, to run away from the enemy. This Sahaba, he did this, but he didn't run because of fear or anything. He wanted to, do some, tactic. It's a tactical running away.
Distract or something.
Retreat somewhere and come back. Yes.
Did he come back?
Tactical is fine. You can do.
Did he
Yeah,
come
he
back?
did. He did come back.
Okay.
So he.
Okay.
But then people, they said to him, "Why did you run away?" This is people always have mouth,
Yeah.
things to say. But he didn't. He went to I think to prepare again or to retreat and then and think what to do. What's the best solution? So he did that. So he said. So what he did, he shouted, "Oh Muslim, appoint a leader." So there's no leader. Three of them became martyrs. So he said, "Appoint a leader." So some companions regrouped and immediately suggested that Thabit himself to be the leader. So you be leader, you hold the, Thabit ibn Arqam, you be the leader. They suggested that to Thabit. But he refused immediately. He said, "No, not me. I'm not fit for that." But then, and the Muslims were, scanning the army, the group, and then they said, "Oh, Khalid ibn Walid should be the leader." Khalid ibn Walid.
He was there.
Huh?
He was there. Khalid.
Yeah, he was there. He was there, and he became Muslim just not long ago, maybe like, new Muslim. So Khalid ibn Walid.
When he grabs the flag, they can't kill him. It's too
All right. So when Khalid saw everyone turn to him, everyone agreed. You should be the leader. Of course, he's a warrior, known. His skills and he's very competent in war. So he said, "Look, you be it." And then he said, "How could I lead? How could I lead?" Because he said that I'm a new Muslim. I haven't been a Muslim. I've been a Muslim less than a month. So how could I lead? But then the Muslim said, we view Khalid as the sword of Allah, undefeatable. He cannot be defeated. So he was, he was known when he was a polytheist, when he was not a Muslim. But when after accepting Islam, he was yet to earn, his reputation. So this is the time. So what happened was, they nominated Khalid ibn Walid to bear the flag, to take the flag, and then so he devised the plan, Khalid ibn Walid. He devised the plan that, a tactic, he said, he realized that preservation of life was the priority. Preservation of life, to come up with a tactic that will preserve life, not many kill. I don't think, he was thinking that there's no victory, we cannot defeat the Romans or the Banu Hassan entirely, but what we can do is we minimize the damage. So this is what he was thinking. So he organized the Muslim army to attack quickly, very quick, short attack, okay? And then, but to do a lot of damage. So he he gathered those who still have energy, not very exhausted. So he gathered them, and then he gave a huge blow on the enemy. The first, and then what happened was, the Khalid Walid, he led the army, and he broke 9 swords. How many swords he broke? Khalid Walid, 9. That's how fierce he fought with the Banu Hassan. 9 swords he broke. And then he was left with a shield only. How do you break a sword?
He broke his own swords or he broke the enemy's swords?
His own swords.
No. He broke through 9 swords until his sword.
So he went through 9 swords. He kept using swords. He kept breaking 9 swords.
Breaking, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Breaking 9 swords.
He was only left with a shield.
With a shield, yes.
So how much damage did he do?
Yeah, he did a lot of damage because look, he was effective. The enemy was, what is it called? Defeated. In many died as well.
He's the greatest commander ever in history. He never lost a battle.
So and then he utilizes the archers to stop the Roman, killing. So archers. And then after that, they retreated after that. The Muslims retreated, and even the Romans, they retreated. Two armies, they were separated at night, you know. By nightfall, they separated.
Alexander the Great is better than all of them.
And then after that, next morning, they all retreated. So that's why scholars say, was this a victory or not a victory?
If they retreated, then it's a victory, is it? Or both retreated.
Both retreated, yeah, both
Yeah, both
retreated.
retreated, yeah. Oh. Well, I guess you could.
Yeah,
say
that's why. Yeah, but they managed to kill a lot too of the Banu Ghassan. So they accomplished their mission. They did not eliminate the Romans, but this was a starting point. The Prophet ﷺ is telling his companions that you will fight this war with the Romans. You know, that's why after the Prophet, you know, passed away, the Sahaba continued and they conquered the Roman Empire. Yes. So this was you can say a victory, and not a loss. Not a loss. A loss would be like they didn't even fight with them. They defeated a lot. They killed many of them.
Especially considering the numbers.
You see, Ja'far's body was buried under the corpse of. That's a lot. A lot of the disbelievers also were killed. 10,000. So that's it. Inshallah, this is the Mu'tah.
Did this event have anything to do with the revelation of Surah Al-Rum? The Surah about Rum?
No, that's different. Ghulibat Rum, that's a different.
Completely different. It's not. It's nothing on this one.
No. That Ghulibat Rum was, I think, I think that was, that. No, the Romans, because you know the Romans were defeated by the Persians, and you know the politics, they were siding with the Persians, so they were happy at that time. This is when I think before the Prophet, or I'm not sure, so that's why I can't say anything. But this is during the start of Islam.
I think that's a.
Then after that,
prophecy.
Yeah, prophecy, and then Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said, "Fi bid'i sinin, in less than 10 years, they will gain victory, the Romans."
And that's what happened.
Fi adna al-ard, it said that in the lowest point of earth. So even according to historians, it's a miracle, because when the Romans gained victory, it was on the lowest part of the earth. Fi adna al-ard.
And it happened exactly in that time that it's
Yeah, less than 10 years. He didn't specify how many years, but less than 10. Fi bid'i sinin, yes. Is it 10 or? Yeah. So that's Ghulibat al-Rum. Adna al-Ard, what is the lowest point on earth? Is it the Black Sea?
Dead Sea.
Red Sea, Dead Sea, yeah?
Dead Sea.
It's very low.
In Jordan, I think.
Yeah, yes. So this is different. This one.
Israel.
Yes. This is different. Okay. Let us. So it's a neutral outcome, basically. Huh?
What was the name of the battle?
Battle of Mu'tah.
Not Muta.
Mu'tah, no, not Mu'tah.
Munta.
Is it with an Ain or Mazal? Battle of Mazal? Like Mazal?
That's the name of that place now.
That's what I remember.
But in history, Sirah books, they don't call it Mazar. That's now name
Okay.
of that place.
Mufta.
Mazar now
Yeah.
in Jordan. If you go to Jordan, you know where's Mazar, and then the grave of the 3 Sahaba is there. Yeah. Abdullah ibn Rawaha, Ja'far, and Zayd ibn Harith.
It's still there today?
Of course.
Is there a masjid there or just a
I
masjid?
don't know. I haven't been there, but of course until now, yeah. Maybe masjid around there.
Always.
Yeah, always masjid.
Oh, it's in Jordan, so.
Jordan, yeah. Now it's in Jordan.
So Sheikh, is Khalid bin Walid buried in Syria? The Syrian, Damascus masjid?
It says
I don't
Homs.
know.
What's
Huh?
Homs?
He's buried in, I think, in Syria.
Not in Medina.
They built a mosque around from
Yeah.
Damascus.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching the news and they said that this is where he was buried. And that's when the Syrian president took over, when the rebels took over. And they're
says
celebrating
Syria,
that.
yeah.
They're praying their first prayer in that mosque.
Oh, okay.
Is that right, Sheikh?
Yeah.
He has his own mosque.
Yes.
Yeah, Khalid bin Walid
Walid's
mosque.
Yeah.
In Homs.
Because when the rebels took over Bashar al-Assad, the first masjid, the celebration of victory, 2 rakat, was in that masjid.
Yeah, Khalid bin
And I
Walid.
said, oh, Khalid bin Walid is buried there. I'd love to visit it. I couldn't believe
It's
it.
in Syria, yeah?
Syria, yeah. After the battle.
It's good. Oh, you went to Lebanon, not Syria.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't go in there now, yeah?
Syria?
Still,
Syria can go. Syria's safe.
but it's safe now?
Syria's good.
Yeah, okay.
There wouldn't be any problems in Syria. All of it's safe. All this bombing, is nothing. It's just safe.
Yeah.
I was scared at the start. But I went past like
Bashar left Syria,
I went for the Shia areas.
he went to Europe or something?
Yeah.
In Russia.
Oh, Russia, yeah.
I went through the Shia areas and it's got all Nasrallahs. They got Nasrallah's photo everywhere. They love him.
Nasrullah,
They got his photo everywhere.
yeah. In Lebanon.
No, only in the Shia areas.
Oh.
Like from the airport to
Who's
Beirut,
Nasrullah? Is he?
Hezbollah,
The leader.
the one that Israel just killed.
Oh, okay.
So between the airport and the city, it's all Shia.
Oh,
And you can tell
yes.
it's run down, it's more shanty